to the Bluegrass Sports Show. Once again, I'm Carl. This is Perry, the animal. So, what we're doing today is we're doing the top 5 small forwards. Perry does have something he would like to add, though, for a previous video.
Yeah, in our previous video, we talked about our top 5 point guards, and I got to number 5, and I went with Gary Payton. And he's as guilty of this, and I've not told him who we left out yet. And I'm sure other viewers who have yelled at us in comments have already pointed out who we left off at number 5. And arguably, this person could even climb the list up to number 4 and be ahead of Steph Curry on my list at this point. And that's Jason Kidd. Don't even start. How we forgot about Jason Kidd is beyond me. Jason Kidd he was a triple-double machine whenever triple-doubles were very rare in basketball. He's the best since Magic. Since Magic and possibly up to LeBron at just naturally making players better on the floor of his ability to see plays happen with his vision. So, to me, I'm taking Jason Kidd. Scratch out the glove, give me Kidd.
I did not forget about J. Kidd. I did.
Then you're just silly.
But I do regret putting Chris Paul in it. But I didn't forget about him. I just didn't give it enough thought, we'll say. Because I love Jason Kidd. And, I mean, if you're looking at the point guards of that time frame, let's say you take GP, Steve Nash, J. Kidd. In a draft, you pick one of the 3. You're picking J. Kidd. Hands down, you're picking J. Kidd.
Every day.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see. He's going to move up to my number 5. He's not going to top IT, but he's going to move up to my number 5.
I would take Jason Kidd over every point guard since 1980, excluding Magic.
No.
I think I would take
I'm not, but I'm not. But he is great.
Penny. Maybe not Penny. Had Penny been healthy.
But, I mean, yeah, you're talking a short time frame for Penny.
Yeah. So, anyway, heads up.
Yeah, that's over with. So, what we're doing today, like I said, we're doing the top 5 small forwards. God, I keep screwing that up. But anyway, we're actually going to change the video a little bit. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up to build the suspense. I think it'll be good. So, where do you go, Perry?
At number 5?
At number 5 small forward of all time.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor.
Yes, Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor has often been referred to as the Kevin Durant long before there was anybody like Kevin Durant. He could shoot. He was an athlete. The difference is with him compared to modern-day small forwards, he was just a little bit smaller. And I almost went with Dominique Wilkins here because Dominique was a savage. He's my honorable mention at 5.5. But Elgin Baylor was one of the first true superstars of what turned into be the NBA that we somewhat recognize. Elgin Baylor could play today and be effective. I'm going with Elgin.
Okay. So, at my number 5, and that's funny because my number 5 is Kevin Durant. My number 5 is Kevin Durant. Now, the argument you could make is just like Steph Curry, he's really not got the stats back it up so far because he ain't played long enough. He's still a younger player. But I just go ahead and I throw him in that top 5 list. But it's, I can see it. I can see that. I can see your argument.
Okay, who's your 4?
My 4 is Dominique.
Dominique.
Yeah, so, I mean, these guys that you've touched on.
I love Dominique. Dominique can play today and average 25 a game.
He's a beast.
Dominique's the one guy from the 80s. A lot of times you'll sit and you'll look at aspects and say, athletically, like Larry Bird. And I'm sure we'll touch base on him in a minute. But, like, he couldn't play today. He was super wide. He couldn't jump. Dominique was as athletic in 1987 as anybody in the game today, and that includes LeBron. He's not a freak strength athlete like LeBron.
No.
But as far as just moving,
I don't know if he's as fast as LeBron either, but
he could. I don't know.
He's right up there.
Dominique could have played today's game.
He could have. Oh, and you brought up honorable mentions. I have an honorable mention that is obviously not going to be in our top 5, but that's Glenn Rice. I loved Glenn Rice.
I like Glenn Rice too.
Yeah, I thought he was a great player. But anyway, so where are we at? You're number 3?
My number 4.
You're number 4, yeah.
Not only do I agree with you putting Kevin Durant in the top 5, I put him in my number 4.
Okay.
Kevin Durant is the most I said Steph Curry has completely changed the game with the way that players play offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant almost did that with the aspect of the fact that he is the size of the Undertaker.
He's 7 foot small forward. I mean, he's a 7 foot small forward.
He's the size of the Undertaker. And he plays basketball like Larry Bird.
He's a beast.
And he's just, God almighty, he's the most lethal offensive weapon the NBA has ever known.
I agree. And we talk about unguardable. You know, some people say LeBron's unguardable. Not as much as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the most unguardable player in the NBA.
If you look at stats from this past finals with Durant and LeBron, whenever they would guard each other, Durant's stats were exponentially better. LeBron's massively super efficient. I call inefficient.
Yes.
Because Durant's
the one guy besides probably Kawhi Leonard.
And he's not regarded as a great defender. Kawhi Leonard one day will top this list.
Oh, probably. Maybe, I don't know about
maybe
top.
Maybe not number one, but he'll at least get
Kawhi. I don't know, but he's going to be in the top 5.
I want it so bad. Kawhi's my man.
He'll be in the top 5. There's no doubt in my mind. He's a beast. But
Durant's my number 4.
He's not done nothing yet. Now, I mean, that's the argument. He's not done anything yet.
My number 3, we're going to write some prescriptions. Because the doctor's on call. Dr. J is my number 3. You want to talk about somebody in reference to Curry changing the game who changed the game? There's no LeBron James if there's no Michael Jordan. There's no Michael Jordan if there's no Julius
Dr.
Erving.
J, yes.
Julius Erving, I wish that he would have went straight to the league instead of going from UMass to the ABA, in which he won multiple titles in the ABA.
Yeah.
He was just the free throw line dunk that Jordan made famous. Dr. J did a decade before. He went
wraparound, baby.
Yes,
he was the man.
He went multiple times to the finals in the NBA. Just he run into that juggernaut out west, and I mean he won his ring. By the time he got to the league, he was old. He wasn't on a walker, but he was older. And to me, Dr. J deserves spot at number 3.
Now, I want you guys to know, okay, and you to know, what you do know.
Oh, well, thank
My list was predetermined.
Oh, no.
My list was predetermined. I had more time, we'll say, at least for the first video. I had more time to to come up with my list. So
green tea.
I had this pick before you made this pick, and that's Dr. J at number 3.
Well, you're 15 players deep into these rosters, and we finally got us
before we finally agree.
Outside of Jordan.
Well, yeah, but come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, besides a number 2 and down, this is our first one.
So tell me we're going to agree with the rest of this list.
I think so. But anyway, you've touched on everything with Dr. J. I mean, just his iconic figure. I mean, nobody done it the way Dr. J did it.
Well, who's your deuce?
Before Dr. J. So we'll shoot on to number 2. My number 2 is Larry Bird. And you could talk about which you touched on this stuff that Larry Bird would not be able to play the game today because he's unathletic.
False.
It is false. I completely disagree with that. And his shooting ability alone would make it today's NBA. When you talk about how tight a defense he had to play, he wouldn't have that now.
And I'm going to continue on your conversation because he's also my 2. But it wasn't cut and dry choosing between him and who's number 1, because I greatly consider putting Bird at number 1. Bird, before he hurt his back,
yes,
he was athletic.
That's the thing.
He wasn't super fast, but he could still get up and go. And whenever I mentioned that Magic almost averaged a triple-double, so did Larry Bird. Bird was an excellent playmaker.
You told me yesterday.
I wasn't pushing it. I was just tickling. Anyways, Bird was an excellent playmaker. He's arguably, I'm not going to say he's the greatest shooter of all time, but as far as compared to where he didn't shoot near as much. And that was just the time frame for the game.
And they had a better team.
I mean, yeah, but he didn't shoot as much as these guys today do. Even in the 90s, not as much. But Larry Bird, to me, he went to, I believe, 5 finals. He won 3. He was 3-2. His only losses to my Lakers.
No, but I mean, look at the team he's facing too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You know, I mean,
each team
two
had
great teams.
each team had four. Was it? It was 4 or 6 Hall of Famers. I can't remember.
But they're beasts.
It's one of the two. But Larry Bird's number 2. And
I agree.
And I get to reveal our number 1.
But just to touch base on your point, if the injuries were not there for Larry Bird, same with Tracy McGrady, except Andy Wade, but except we're talking above and beyond them two. If the injuries were not there,
Bird still had greatness
exactly,
with his injuries.
Exactly.
And he didn't get hurt till later on in his career. It's just
he was about what 31, 32 before he started getting injured.
His body just wore down. Bird's still number 2 even with his injuries.
And I'm saying without those, he's easily number 1.
You ready for me to reveal our number 1?
Our number 1?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Wally Zerbiak. Your number 1's not Wally?
I like the Zerb.
Of course, number 1's going to be LeBron James.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, granted, and I say granted, very much with a point there, because the reason why LeBron's number 1 on this is because Grant Hill got hurt. I don't even want to talk about.
No. We're not arguing.
No, we'll get to that one.
I mean, we're not arguing about that fact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LeBron is the most unbelievable specimen of an athlete
that's where he beats Grant Hill.
Yes, well,
that's where he beats everybody.
I don't know. Grant Hill was like that too. He wasn't as dominant.
He wasn't as dominant. But
LeBron, what he brings to the table is a similar scoring style to a young Jordan. LeBron has got better with his outside shooting. He was excellent shooting from outside in this year's finals after he had his worst three-point and free throw shooting career of his entire career. Year of his entire career. He was excellent shooting the ball in this year's playoffs. Probably one of the best playoff runs I've ever seen individually from a player. He was fantastic. But what he gives you, and he's a very good defender. Very good defender. A lot of people rank him as an all-time great defender. I don't do that personally. I have my reasons. I'm not going to, because we spent enough time talking about LeBron yesterday. But LeBron has earned the right to be considered for number 1. Like I said, it wasn't cut and dry between him and Bird at 1 and 2, because I wanted so bad to make a case for Larry Bird, because on a skill-to-skill basis, I think Bird was better. But
agree.
The other impacts that LeBron brings, just his pure freakish athleticism is what puts him over the top. 7 straight NBA finals. I don't care how much garbage the East is, and it's garbage. It's still an accomplishment. And I don't care how many great teammates.
It's growing. East is growing.
It's shrinking. Well, haven't you watched this free agency pool?
Well, yeah, maybe this year. But I mean,
it's shrinking. It's not growing.
Everybody's leaving. I agree. But when you look at like last year's playoffs, I mean, the Wizards were an okay team.
Wizards are good.
I like Wizards.
If the Wizards,
the Raptors,
the Raptors are done.
Had
the Wizards had home court, they'd have played Cleveland. And
you talk about Boston, the team that beat them is another really good team.
I don't think that Washington would have beat Cleveland, but they'd have made it a lot better series than what Boston did was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And people who think Kyrie's your savior in Boston and Gordon Hayward is your savior in Boston, as long as that beast is still in Cleveland, the best you can hope for is second place.
No, there was a GM who said that he is waiting for the post-LeBron era. He's done. He's done trying to go through LeBron. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wait for LeBron to be done, and then you go.
See, that's why. And I'm a Lakers fan, and everybody's like, he's going to LA. Why? Why in the world would he go to the West, where he has to go through?
The only way he's going to the West is if he's got a stout team behind him. That's the only way.
I don't see that.
And I don't see it happening either. I see him bringing people to Cleveland before leaving.
I think he's leaving Cleveland, but I don't think he's going to L.A.
No, he's not going to L.A. But we were talking about LeBron. Larry Bird wouldn't beat LeBron either if LeBron – we were talking about the draft that fueled Kobe and Jordan, right? I'm not even talking about that drive. If LeBron cared more about playing to his strengths, if he went through people, if he had more of a Shaq-like mindset, nobody would stop him. Nobody would stop him.
Larry Bird had one of my favorite quotes ever, and this is comparing Kobe to LeBron. If I want to have fun, I'm going to play with LeBron.
Right.
If I want to win, I'm going to play with Kobe.
Okay.
And that's a quote directly from Larry Bird.
I can see that. But that's a testament to LeBron, the fact that he makes everybody better.
LeBron is.
And that's what Larry Bird's saying right there. If I want to have fun playing, I go with LeBron.
Okay. Are we still going? I believe we are.
Okay. So we are going to go ahead, guys, and we're going to call this one. I mean, this was pretty cut and dry. The first one that we agreed with on 3 picks, so that's a plus. But once again, thank you for watching.
Therapy's paying off.
The Bluegrass Sports Show or
BBS Show, 2 guys talking crap. And we're also fat.
Very. So, if you liked it, go ahead, punch that like button, then hit that subscribe button, and then we will see you guys in the next video.